Hey, okay, so today we are going to talk about measuring how much liquid there is by using something called a graduated cylinder. Now, graduated cylinder, this name comes from, if you look closely, you can see that the numbers are gradually getting better, or bigger, sorry. And the shape is a cylinder, so it's called a graduated cylinder. We have different sizes of graduated cylinders, and this affects how precisely we can measure how much liquid is inside. So let's start with this one. So you can see the most that we can measure in here is all the way up to 100. Okay. And you might think that the least that we can measure up to is 20, but each of these little lines here represent measurements as well. And we have to figure out what those measurements are. So if I look between 20 and 40, I can count the lines in between. If I do that, I get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Right, so there are 10 lines between 20 and 40. Okay. And the number between 20 and 40, the difference is 20. Right. So that must mean 20, the difference between 40 and 20, and the number of lines, which is 10. So we'll do 20 divided by 10 to get 2, meaning that every one of these lines represents 2 milliliters. Remember that the units we use to measure how much liquid is milliliters. So every little line represents 2 milliliters. Okay, so let's practice actually measuring. Let's say that I wanted to measure, let's go with 40 milliliters. I'm going to use a beaker. So this is just a container. It can also measure, you can see that it can measure, but this one is not as precise or specific as a graduated cylinder. So I'm just going to use this to hold my water. This is a container for my water. I'm also going to use what's called a pipette. Okay, this pipette helps me pick up water. So if I squeeze the pipette outside of the water, place the pipette inside my container of water, release the squeeze, and pull out the pipette, you can see that there's water in there. If I want to get this water out, all I have to do is squeeze again. And now the water is back into my beaker. Okay, so this will be a container of my water. This is going to help me get precise measurements. And we are going for 40 milliliters. Now, when I pour my water, I might think that this is 40 if I'm looking at it this way. But a good tip is to get eye level with the graduated cylinder. And when I do, I notice that it's below 40. So what I'm going to do is use my pipette to squeeze in some more water until I'm at 40. Okay, let's see how I did. You can see how the water is at the 40 milliliter mark. If I wanted 42 milliliters, I'm going to add a little bit more. Let me see how I did. So remember, I want to get down in eye level. And when I get eye level, I'm a little bit over. But let's see if you can figure out how much water is in here. Remember that every line represents 2 milliliters. So how much water is in here?